Today is the day you will lose fat. Come see Dr. T at NJ Diet.
Easiest diet I've ever done. It's changed my life. Come see Dr. T.
Using blood work and DNA testing. 1-855-5NJ-DIET and NJDiet.com. Change your life in only 40 days with NJ Diet.
Monday mornings, we do this every week because we love this guy, the editor for the National Review, frequent guest on television, lots of times with our good buddy Chuck Todd on Meet the Press. He's brilliant, he's funny, and we like him. Rich Lowry here on a Monday morning. Good morning, Rich.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. So your Virginia Cavaliers, you're Mr. Virginia. They're a 1 seed in the South region. I actually think it's a pretty easy region. Tennessee, the 2, Purdue, the 3, Kansas State, the 4. So as you get ready to handicap this, in which we do expect you to play in our bracket challenge, Jill will send you all the info. You need to play in ours. How do you feel about your Cavaliers as the 1 in the South?
It's a favorable bracket.
Yes.
So they got to make it to 16 pretty easily, I would think. But I've just been burned so many times in the tournament.
Do you feel like the loss to Florida State in the ACC tournament, which resulted in a second-round exit, and the Seminoles playing Duke instead of Virginia, was that the type of loss that they kind of give a hangover, or you think they snap out of it for this tournament?
Well, I think they'll snap out of it. Just the problem is they're a very good team that can lose to any good team on any given day because they're so dependent on three-point shooting. Yep. If it gives out, they can't reliably get to the hoop. They don't have a real big man, big scorer. I mean, they don't have a Zion Williamson. I know no one has a Zion Williamson, but I would say Zion Williamson is going to win this tournament.
No, well, that's you may be wrong about that. Final Four, perhaps, but
I hope so.
I think Gonzaga is going all the way.
Okay,
but that's me. But that's neither here nor there. Listen, continue.
They lost to St. Mary's, right?
They did lose to St. Mary's in their conference final. Yes.
But they're number 1, and there's a reason for that.
Well, they're not number 1. Duke is the number 1 overall seed.
Right,
they're a 1 seed in the West, right? But Duke is the number 1 overall seed.
Good. Thank you for correcting me. Now, listen. To continue the basketball analogy, this one's going to be a layup for you. Politically, this Beto weirdo O'Rourke. I mean, the Democratic Party, Rich Lowry, just comes off looking weirder and weirder with some of these characters that are jumping in.
Well, Trump picked up on the hand gestures right away, and now it's like all you can see, right? When you watch him speak. So we'll see. You know, he charisma can take you far in the Democratic primaries. You know, he's got that kind of Bobby Kennedy look that Democrats love. And so the question is, if he's as talented as Obama, he could win that nomination. If not, he's going to have a hard time. And he's already apologized twice.
Yes.
You know, and now he's talking all the time about his white privilege. So if he wins the nomination, he's going to have to give a convention speech saying, "Guys, I'm really sorry that I'm a white male and I won this nomination. I'll try to do better next time."
But he did, for what it's worth, and of course he lost in his own state to Ted Cruz. That doesn't mean he can't be successful on the left. But he did raise more money than Bernie Sanders, over $6 million. What does that say?
Yeah, I mean that's a key indicator. You know, he has a grassroots following. And money and crowds, that's key things to look at early, and that's why I don't totally mock him and dismiss him. I think he's got a shot.
Yeah, but he seems, just to me anyway, seems to be an empty vessel. But who knows? Listen, Rich Lowry from the National Review, you wrote a piece on Tucker Carlson, who, if I'm not mistaken, you're not politically in lockstep with, but it was complimentary. And right now, he's under siege by the left, this Media Matters organization. Tell us what you think about Tucker Carlson and that siege.
Yeah, well, he's a hugely talented guy, obviously. More populist than I am, but I have a lot of respect for him. And this is just a classic instance where they go back and look at things he said 10 years ago on a radio show. You know, no one would be loose and fun on a radio show and say things they regret, right? But no one at the time cared that he said these things. No one really cares now. No one's truly offended. It's just they're just using it as a tool to try to leverage them off air, just transparently. And kudos to Tucker for standing up to them and Fox for standing up to them. I thought Tucker statement last Monday when this thing first broke was just really stirring about what this was really about and why he was going to resist it and why he wasn't going to apologize and go through the ritual. The problem, of course, is Tucker and Fox can be principled and brave about this, but advertisers are another story. And, corporations and advertisers are cowardly. They hate controversy, and that's what the Media Matters game is about, is reducing the profit to Fox from Tucker's show. And they did the same thing to Bill O'Reilly.
Right, so we just have to wait and see if, in fact, the advertisers start to pull. It doesn't matter what he said, he's gone. And if they don't, then he's going to be fine. Another article you wrote, which I found fascinating, talking about the left and how clueless they are sometimes. Rich Lowry, don't break up big tech. Liz Warren and other Democrats that really looking to break up the big companies and claiming things that are not necessarily true, especially with Amazon. It's becoming a big problem, I believe. I mean, leave these big companies alone, right? In a capitalist society, what's wrong with a big company?
Yeah, so look, I think there are genuine free speech concerns. I think there are genuine privacy concerns. But the idea that you just sit down and reorganize the entire industry, basically to have a political talking point, which is what Liz Warren wants to do, is insane. And then she's saying that Amazon has to be two companies, has to have a platform where everyone sells their stuff, but it can't sell its own stuff on its own platform. So it's like two Amazons going to be better for consumers. Same thing with Apple. She doesn't want Apple to be able to sell apps on its own phone. And Apple and these other companies engage in sharp practices. I mean, they want to make a profit. And if there's specific misconduct, deal with it. But the idea that she knows better what tech should be than the market and consumers do is completely insane.
And, finally, Rich Lowry from the National Review. Listen, I understand that collectively, Congresswomen Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Omar, and Tlaib, they are really the speakers of the House at this point. I understand they wield a lot of power, but my question is this. Why would a guy like Jake Tapper from CNN put on a bust-out Jew hater like that Congresswoman from Michigan, the aforementioned Tlaib woman? I mean, to give her a platform to spew her venom like that from Jake Tapper, to me, seems a little odd.
Yeah, well, I listened to that interview. She wasn't as bad as I expected, but the argument they're making the last several days, and this NYU student confronted Chelsea Clinton with this argument. I have no use for Chelsea Clinton, but I just thought this was poisonous and absurd. They're saying if you criticized Omar for her anti-Semitism, you have in effect enabled the moth killing in New Zealand, which no part of that reasoning makes any sense, but it's just a sign of this fever that is afoot on the left. Is obviously going to have a key role in the Democratic nomination battle.
No doubt. I wonder if Omar will be in Minneapolis for the Final Four. She is a Minnesota native, yes?
Yeah.
Bringing it all together now.
Tied it up in a nice little bow, Rich. See how we do that? I taught Chuck Todd that, just so you know, Rich. Rich Lowry, don't break up big tech. As always, you're a wonderful guest, and have a great week. We'll talk again next Monday. Thank you, Rich. All right. The great Rich Lowry, editor of the National Review. More Bernie and Sid on a Monday right after this.
Bernie and Sid in the morning.